try some beer and wine and other spirits too. Plastered cask is coming to you.
Oh, hey. Welcome to Plastered Cast. This is the podcast where we drink a few drinks, we talk to some guests, and hopefully that equals fun. I'm Mike Wiley. With me, as always, is James Webb.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Oh, I feel good.
That's good.
How have you been doing?
I've been good.
There's a weird disembodied laugh tonight.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Should we check in on
Strange. Maybe. Somebody might be outside.
that? Well, let's go get them.
Oh, I don't know if we want that person here.
I do.
Okay. Hey, all right.
Yeah,
I don't know how long I was going to be able to do
Me
that.
neither, bro. It fucking hurt to do.
How you doing, James?
I'm very tired. How are
You're
you?
very tired? Yeah. I think I'm kind of tired, too.
Yeah.
Let's be tired together.
We're busy boys.
We are.
We need naps.
But later, because we
Later.
got a show to do.
That's right, baby.
Maybe we'll post this one. Who knows?
Yes. Yep. I'm sorry. It is my fault
What?
that this last episode was posted late.
People don't know.
They do. Well, they should.
Here's the thing: is I totally even flaked on it. I was even looking at the previous episode, and I'm like that day, and I'm just like, "Ooh, this episode's still getting views." Like totally, I totally forgot that. Oh, another episode's supposed to post today. But yeah,
Busy boys, man.
busy boys.
Yeah.
And this is Plastered Cast. We got a guest tonight. A very awesome guest. He's a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
Stand-up comedian, ladies and gentlemen, everyone. It's Matt Drufke.
Hello.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
Here's what made me laugh.
what
up
made
front,
you laugh up front?
Is you?
I'm really funny. That's why.
you are amazing. I'll talk about that in a moment.
We don't have that long to do
It was
a
that
podcast.
NPR voice you came in.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey everybody.
I can do
Welcome to
everything.
Plastics. Would you like a tote bag? We will give you this wonderful tote bag.
I don't have tote bags to give. Yeah.
And here's what I was just talking about you this evening with former guest TJ Remick.
Okay.
And one of my favorite things about you is while your
We're gonna
style
hear-
of humor,
Yes.
I don't know that it would be called like a one-liner sense of humor, but it's certainly very like short punch, short delivery,
Right.
things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
When you think of the people who excel at that, or like the people who have been famous for that, whether it's Hedberg or
Yes.
Stephen Wright, or like Nick Thune does a little with guitar, so does Dimitri Martin earlier. Their deliveries are so dry, which fits the setup well.
Right.
And you are so the opposite of that. You are so animated and so you come to life on stage
Wow.
to deliver a type of comedy in a way that I have not seen. I have not seen that style of joke delivered in that form before I saw you, and it's such a delight. Like it's such a joy to watch, and it makes me so happy.
Thank you.
But we've known each other for
Yeah.
12 years, 13 years, now?
Probably. No, it was probably more than that even.
Yeah, okay.
No, I think I kind of gravitated toward just my style and demeanor, like comics that I grew up with, and I think it might even been like a combination of like Stephen Wright, Norm Macdonald, and then like Brian Regan, more of with that kind of delivery. So I don't know.
It makes me so happy. I love being able to see you every week, and knowing that like one of us is watching the other, and that there's always growth, and that I've always looked up to you and respected you so much as a comedian. So that it's marvelous to be here. It's wonderful to see you every week at the show we run. It's also great to see.
You've already made this awkward.
No,
Matt.
It's a love fest, and
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
here for it.
I have a web story. I can tell that.
Okay.
shit.
Well, let's one thing at a time
Okay.
here. Let's get
You can only be nice for so long.
Save it for the podcast. Wait.
Let's get into what we
Save
came
it
here
for
to
the
do.
drinking.
Exactly. Speaking of
I'll
drinking,
get so nice. When
I
I'm
got
drinking.
some.
I get so nice.
Opened my fridge today. I opened Wiley's fridge,
Ooh.
and there was some stuff in there. It's like, hey, let's get rid of some of this stuff, right?
Okay.
So we got some beers today that we're gonna have.
I love
we're gonna
it.
Be enjoying throughout.
I love it.
This is by Alestorm Brewery from Tinley Park.
Okay.
This is
Home of the Tweeter Center, or whatever that place is.
the Twitter Center. This is forklift training. This is a strawberry cheesecake inspired pastry sour. What?
Okay, I'm like, I get
Go
that I
ahead.
am Pillsbury shaped, but dessert is not dessert.
You never had a dessert beer?
No, because I'm not super happy. I don't love dessert. However,
You
I
love cheese.
Oh, I love cheese.
Exactly.
And I do for a job fix forklifts. So this is and train people on forklifts.
Okay,
So,
well,
all
I'm
right.
training people,
Well, prost.
training you to drink forklift.
All right. Okay. A lot of flavors in there
Exactly.
right away.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It surprised me.
break them down. Well, I mean, it's strawberry cheesecake. It shouldn't be that surprising.
The strawberry is there. If it tastes like Jewel soda when you were a kid.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So it's sour ale brewed with strawberry, milk sugar, graham crackers, and vanilla.
All right. Okay. Well,
I like it.
the more I have it,
I think once you accept the flavor,
yeah.
you're all in.
So many alcohols at first give you a surprise. And then because look, I read everything. I read strawberry cheesecake and graham crackers and all that, but I still did not understand how that would go into an alcohol and how that would feel in my body. And so that first taste, you're like, what the shit is it? But now, pretty good. I'm digging this.
Have you had many sour ales?
Yeah,
Okay.
I enjoy a good sour ale. I like it a whole lot. This is very good.
So, you came here tonight, right from CYSK.
Yeah, comedians you should
comedians you should know, right here,
Just
in
my
downtown
second
Chicago.
show since the pandemic. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how was tonight?
It was good. They were a fun crowd. There was one guy in the audience I had to go after a little, which is rare in that room. Normally the audience is very polite and behaved.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a guy who instead of laughing,
Yeah.
would just keep saying nice.
Okay. Were we talking about like 69 in and stuff?
Yeah, like in that tone, yes. In that like so I had to be
Right.
like, hey, you know what would also be nice is you like laughing and shutting up. And
You can't wait. Whoa. That's you can't do both.
True, fair. So like if you would just not
boggled
say,
his mind.
yeah, like it would feel nice if I heard you laugh.
Right.
It feels less nice when you just say nice, like you just open your mouth.
It
and
doesn't
have the
feel
sound.
nice,
Yeah,
even though you're saying nice.
yeah,
You're doing the opposite.
yeah. But was clearly a little drunk, so in his mind that was like, oh, this gives
Was he
me...
drinking Hailstone?
No,
Fort Lick
he
Training?
was not.
Not a
He's like,
sponsor, but could be.
this gives me permission to talk, and then that I had to turn that down in another. You know, you have to shut that down in another way. But there was still, it's a fun show. I saw, and again, like what's been so nice about the show and nice about doing our show and going back is like being able to see all.
What show is that?
So that's still not Friday. Every Thursday night at Two Brothers Roundhouse. And it's just seeing old friends, people that I haven't seen in a long time.
Who's there?
So like Danny Callis, who I had not
Callis,
seen.
yeah.
Kristen Toomey Ed Towns was there of this
Friend of the show.
friend of the podcast.
Loves
Ed
this show,
Towns.
especially when he's on.
Jackie Cooper and Chelsea Hood. Yeah, so it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see all those people.
Right. So this is only your second show.
Chicago show.
show since pandemic, but you've been doing stand up for a long time.
15 years. Yeah.
15 years.
And I'd like done a couple shows. Like I went to Rockford. I did an hour there, which was like my first show back.
Yeah.
But
you
that's
did
also
an hour your first show back.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine because it was, it was rock. Like I was just like, honestly,
Nobody from Rockford listens to this. So
I
you
just went.
shit all over Rockford.
Yeah. As I point out, it's what Time Magazine has called the third dumbest city in America. So like, you show them a card trick or something, they're happy. No, that
Witchcraft.
That was more just like. Like you've known as someone who's done this for longer than I have, is that like
going on 20?
Yeah, if someone's like, "Hey, can you do an hour of old stuff?" It takes you a minute, but like if you write it all down,
It's just like Charlie Chaplin.
yeah. If you write it all down, you're like, "Okay, I remember what this feels like."
Right.
So that was a little easier, and I think I did a couple mics just to remember how some things went, but. Now I'm just trying. Like now, I'm trying to figure out what new stuff is. There's things that things have happened to me since the pandemic. I had a baby, and in all of those jokes, I was on my first wife. Now I'm on my second wife. By the way, second wives do not like to be called second wives. They just like to be called wives.
Right.
Just call them wives.
Wives also hate to be called ex-wives.
Yes.
Especially when they're not.
Or I imagine a wife would hate to be called I imagine Tabitha would hate to be called your first wife. I think like if you were like, hi, I'm Mike. This is my first wife, Tabitha.
Oh, unless I become president.
Oh, fair. That's very fair. So yeah, so I'm just getting, I'm getting everything kind of trying to fire on all cylinders again, but it's fun.
Yeah, my first show back was like a headlining 45-minute set, and yeah, that was me trying to figure out, am I still able to do this and do this length of time? And this was one of those shows where how it's
was that
just,
Lockport? Was that the?
I don't remember where it was. I never remember where things are.
Okay,
so nothing has changed. But it was one of those shows where it's basically like an argument with the audience.
Oh yeah.
So
you really didn't need to remember any of the
I
material.
didn't have. Here's the thing. No, I didn't need to remember. Like I think I did like 5 or 6 jokes. But I think that was the kind of show I needed because I needed to remind myself that I can still do a tough room like this where I don't have to rely on like pre-written stuff and I can still like intermingle with the audience and like demand attention.
Yeah, it's good to have that muscle memory of how to throw a punch.
And it felt really good. It's like, I'm still capable of this.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's great. I still remember one show. We were talking about this a little bit ago. One show you came, a show that I was producing, and no one showed up. And I got real sad and real drunk. And as you got up, I was because you are a guy who comes up with like a very strict set list. You have like everything even at open mics, you've always been a guy who you've written down every joke on a note card, and you have a very specific plan of attack. And I that night, because I was drunk, was determined to ruin your plan of attack. So every time you would tell a joke, I would then yell out a joke. And I believe I threatened your pay. I was like, you don't get paid unless you tell.
Yeah, I took that seriously. I usually write down a specific set. But like lately, but here's the thing is like lately, I mean, not even lately, just the past few years, I've allowed myself room to just go away from that and let the set go where it goes.
It's so fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And this is why I always have notes on stage, because if I do deviate from my set, I can always just like, all right, where were we? Boom. Okay, I get right back into it.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Yeah, and there's a joy. There's a joy sometimes as a performer, and I think the audience feels that when he's like, "Fucking, I don't know where this is going."
Right. Yeah.
Let's figure it out together.
That's why I don't mind when audiences heckle, depending on the kind of heckle. Where it's like, I get to go in a different place. Like as long as they're not heckling mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A controllable heckle.
Right.
I think is what it is.
Or it's not one dude trying to like impress his date.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the entire audience wants an interactive show.
True.
And as a comedian, you got to give that to them.
Yeah. That's whenever I hear someone talk about heckling, there's one why I rarely I think it's very hard to attack hecklers because I think what is so hard, and you see so many people who are new to comedy who go up on stage, insult the audience, and been like, "Hey, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're fat," and then be like, "Guys,
that's pretty good,
guys." Dating.
What comedian is
and
this?
they'll
I
be
need
like,
to
"Guys,
check him out."
dating's hard, right?"
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because you call everyone stupid, ugly, and fat. Like, how do you really think that personal interaction is your forte? Like, but so there's one night I was doing a benefit show, and there's one guy it was at a Moose Lodge, guy in the audience, member of the lodge, might have been the head of the lodge.
Okay.
And just would not shut up. It's just like good. Like every joke has to have a tag, everything he has to talk about, and no comic. And like, look, we're doing this for charity. We're trying to be nice. They're not going to throw this guy out because he's a lodge member. No one is shutting this guy out. And I'm hosting the show, and finally everyone gets done, and I just have to end the show. And I get up, and the guy's like, "Is this guy again?" And I'm just like, it's one of the very few times where I just lost it.
Yeah.
Like I was not in control of the words I was saying. Where I was just like, we're gonna have a new charity, which is to murder you. Like, who wants to get, and as I keep talking, the crowd keeps loving it, and so I just get like harder and harder into this guy. Like no one right? Like charities will not want the money because like, oh, it came from this asshole. Fuck that guy. Like no, children will be like, I don't need to eat that badly, and just like it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and so I just kept talking more and more and more, and then the show ended. And I was talking with the comedians, and that guy came up to me in full tears, and was just like, I thought I was helping the show. Everyone wants to, like, I was just trying to be part of it. I'm so sorry. And so now, when I am on stage, and when I'm getting ready to, like, when I can feel an audience member like getting close to, I always think of that.
When you feel them getting close to tears.
No,
like how I often.
No,
do,
I mean like when I feel myself being like. I think I'm getting
You're
real
getting
close.
too mean.
I think I'm getting real close to like really starting to go after someone. I remember that guy's face. And that always allows me to be like, just take a break. Maybe he just needs to know that like, hey, you just have to be quiet. Like, I'll humor you for a moment. But that's someone I think about all the time. Like that's a guy I think about all the time. Do you have interactions like that? Like has there been an audience member that left an impression on you like that?
Well, I know I did this one show and it was like in the middle of nowhere in a bar, and I know there was this old man at the bar who was just like angry that I was even there talking, like to the point like. But so I could tell this guy was like super angry at me, but it's like, you know what? You're the only one I want to talk to because because
you won't stop.
Because and you're shouting at me, so I just like directed everything,
of course,
towards him.
Yeah, which is the right way to do it. Just be likable. Like if you're likable, then even if the guy's being a dick,
I wasn't trying to be likable. I was trying to get under this guy's skin. See, this guy was like 60 years old. If he was 20 years younger, he would have taken a swing at me.
We all have that.
Yeah.
We all have. That's the weird part of being a comedian is that like that like, oh, I could say something where someone could like straight bum rush the stage right now. That's always scary. It's a little exciting, but it's always scary.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think I have any one audience member who's stuck in my mind, but I do have had experience. Like I remember the first time I did one of those real just crowd work sets. And it was one of those audiences where they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they want to talk back to you. So it was the first time where I just allowed myself to deviate from my set. And I just talked back and like we're all having fun and we're joking. And I did like 20 minutes of like barely any material. And it was like the first time it felt like, oh wow, like that was
I didn't know I could do this.
Exactly. It was a moment everyone had fun. And after I got off stage, the headliner went up. And the crowd was doing the same thing.
That's where things get hard.
The crowd was doing the same thing, and the headliner got angry to where the entire audience just got uncomfortable and silent. And that's when I realized, hey, I did the right thing. He messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that night.
Yeah, that could be super
because
hard.
It's light when I learn things.
Light crowds always want to play a little more. I always feel like when it's just like 6, 8, 10 people in the room. I went to the show. There were 4 people in the audience, but they wanted like the set. Like, they wanted the full headlining set. So I remember I was doing the set, and at some point, 2 people in the audience were like, "We have to go to the bathroom." Like we can't. So I was just like, cool, and I just stopped talking.
Yeah.
I got a drink at the bar. I think I talked to the other 2 people, and they just come back. You're like, all right, previously on. Let's reset the room. Here we go.
I did a show. I don't know if you've ever been to the Portage Theater.
Oh yeah.
During a
David Lane show, right?
No, this was I don't remember. Anyway, this was during a street festival.
Okay.
They had a show.
Oh,
at
right.
Portage Theater.
Young Love ran that show. Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I did the Saturday show.
Okay.
Of that.
So I did that. So it was the middle of a street fair afternoon show.
Oh, it's so bad.
The theater. It's how many seats is that?
Like 600.
Yeah.
There's so many seats.
There were probably 12 people there, half of which were children. And I remember Sheehan had gone up before me, did his set.
Oh, Mike.
I I got up on stage and fell on my face, not on purpose.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was on purpose, so they were already like, "Oh, this guy sucks." And one woman with her family of children were going to walk out, and that was like half of the crowd,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "No, wait, please, just stop. Let me do one joke." And just try,
you don't like
try to get your your attention. And she just turns around in the aisle and she's like, "Okay." And I do my joke, and everybody laughed. And she came back and she sat down. And it's like, all right.
You had to feel so good.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was a fun set.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's weird how you can occasionally measure success in comedy.
In these little
yeah.
things.
There was a show once I got booked, and I only took it because it was close to my then girlfriend, now wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told it was a charity show for people raising money for a cancer run.
Okay.
It would be outside in a park.
Mm.
But the people there wanted a adult show.
Right.
They wanted a dirty show.
Yeah.
I arrived to the show. The area where the stage is legitimately, I don't know, 10 feet away from a full children's playground. Like kids just like having fun and things like that. And the producer of the show is trying to like say like, "Hey everyone, just so you know, this is gonna be an adult show." And I was just like, "What are you doing? This is no longer an adult show." Like, I think I told every comic that I'm like, "Look, whatever time you can't fill, I'll fill." Like, because I was closing that show and I was just like, because someone's like, "I can't do 10 minutes clean." I'm like, "What can you do clean?" And there's like, "I don't know, 3." I'm like, "Great, I'll eat the 7." So one of those nights, I think I was supposed to do a half hour. I did like 70 minutes. Like, I was just taking everyone's time, just knowing that like I wouldn't upset parents.
Right.
And weirdly, the show went not bad.
Yeah, I did a outdoor. Well, it wasn't outdoor; it was indoor, but it was a festival. It was called Mike Fest, and it was run by.
I feel like that show would be made just for you.
In Cincinnati, and it was run by a guy named Mike Wiley.
All right.
And I forgot how. I think another comic got me hooked up with this guy.
Okay.
So I went on the show, and it was Mike Sheehan as well. So Sheehan went up before me. And again, there were children in the audience.
Yeah.
And and I think Sheehan, to Sheehan's credit, at first, he did say, he did mention, because the parents were sitting right in front, like literally on the floor with their legs crossed, because I mean there was no stage or anything, and the children were right there, and he's like, the adult show.
He's like, "Hey, just so you know, I am comedian Mike Sheehan."
Right. And the mother is just like, "Yeah, no, they've heard all the words."
Everyone thinks that.
And then Sheehan goes right into like a joke about fucking, and the mother's like, "Why don't you kids go play outside?"
Every parent thinks their kid can handle it,
Right.
Until they're like watching their kid deal.
But here's the story. My point to the story. So I was on stage.
Okay.
And the daughter came back in, and I guess she like hurt herself, right?
Oh no.
And she was crying. And then I just kind of like off the cuff, I just said something to her, kind of like silly, and she turned around and she laughed, and then she forgot that she was hurt, and she just sat and watched the show. That made me feel really good.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
You're like Mary Poppins. That's what you are. You're this. Yeah. I did.
All right, hold on. Let's get to some drinking.
Yeah,
and
because
we'll
I did tell you before. If we're telling stories tonight,
Oh, yeah,
the
I
more
know
alcohol in me,
Well, that's the thing.
I will not be hiding people's names.
Well, I knew I didn't have to write down any bullet points for questions with you, because I knew it was just like, yeah, no, I know Matt Drufke.
It's just like Matt talks too much.
All right, so it's gonna be we're doing I know you like Scotch.
I do love
You do
Scotch.
like Scotch. You
gosh,
mentioned
I
that
love
to me when you watched Emily Schaefer's show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing Glenmorangie. Are you familiar with Glenmorangie?
I am familiar, but I've never had it.
Okay, so it's a single malt Scotch.
Okay.
Which is a lot of people see single malt Scotches are the more fancy versions.
Yeah.
Single malt.
So I wore my best Paddington shirt.
So doesn't mean single malt technically. It just means it was distilled and bottled in the same distillery.
Okay.
So we've got a few different kinds here, and we're gonna.
But whatever else is in that building is fair game.
Yeah, you never know. Drywall. Who
Yeah.
knows what's in here? So we're gonna be doing something similar to the Emily show. So
Okay.
I've got a few different ones.
Okay.
And we're gonna
Should
taste them.
Should I avert my hand?
No, I've already pre-poured, so you don't know.
Okay.
They're all different prices, and I just want to see if maybe we can tell which ones are the more expensive ones compared to the least expensive ones, and if that matters even. So I've got the original Glenmorangie.
Okay.
I got I'll show you by the bottles here. Then we got
Okay, but you have the price written down.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So there's no guessing. I can tell you.
right?
All right.
But see, I have
okay.
those cups
Oh,
there,
all right, okay,
and you're gonna
so-
you don't know
all right.
what those cups are.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
I mean, I know they're cups. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Oh shit, you fucked up. Damn it. All right, episode's over.
I thought I'd be drinking out of a shoe. All fancy style.
Well, have you ever watched the final 5 minutes of the show? All right. So and then we also have Glenmorangie La Santa.
Okay.
That's in a sherry cask finish.
Oh, all right.
The other ones are in are finished in casks that previously had wine in it.
Okay.
So the original is stored in a bourbon cask.
Oh, okay.
So that's oak that's charred on the inner. These are American barrels, and then so all the other ones are also aged in bourbon casks.
Okay.
But they're finished. They're taken out of those casks and stored for a while in a different one. So this one is going to be sherry. Then we got the Quinta Ruban. That's a port.
Okay.
A port cast, and then Glenmorangie Nectar d'Or, and that I gotta take a look because it's a weird Sauternes cask.
Okay.
That's a French word, and it's a very
That's a French word that I don't know what it means.
It's a type of wine. It's a very kind of expensive type of wine. I guess.
So not the type of wine I drink. Like there's not the
I don't know,
rooster on the
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
But I guess they're grapes. So the grapes on these ones they get a fungus,
Oh, okay.
right? And it's a good fungus, right? It's called Noble Rot.
I feel like if I had a fungus, I would call it the good type of fungus.
So Noble Rot is what it's called, and it's in the Bordeaux region of France.
Okay.
And in this area, it's kind of common in this particular area, but it doesn't always happen and it doesn't always take.
Okay.
Which is why it's more expensive because some years you don't get the rot.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I got that. And then we're going to throw a $20 Dewar's in there just to keep you on your
Oh,
toes.
no. I do like a Dewar's.
You do like a Dewar's.
All right.
Yeah. Now, Dewar's is a blended Scotch, which is not a single malt. Which is they take other things
Come
and
from
they put it
fucking
together.
anywhere.
So who knows where that's coming
The
from.
truck driver could be taking a piss in the bottle. All right.
All right, so we're gonna start.
All right.
Where did all my cups go?
They're right there.
No, but I gotta have empty cups
Oh,
too.
okay.
I gotta drink some.
All right. Do you, Michael?
This is my podcast.
All right.
If I'm giving you everything nice, then what's in it for me?
Okay.
But I will give you the cup that has the number on it, so you can place it where you think it's gonna be.
Okay.
No, you're getting this one.
All right.
The cup with the number on it.
Oh, I apologize.
Idiot. Uh-oh. Make sure you have some.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Here we go.
There you go, James.
Hang out.
All right. So, give it a little sniffy sniff.
Oh, that's
What do we get? Ooh.
That's a nice smell.
Uh-huh. What do we got? A little honey on that? Maybe? Butter?
Maybe.
What are you getting?
I like. Yeah. There's.
Give me something.
I mean, there is that first smell of what Scotch
It's called,
is.
yeah, it's called nose.
All right.
Mhm.
No. Yes, which I'm smelling with my nose.
All right. All right, so you got you've done this before.
There is something sweet. There is something sweet there.
Okay.
That
You get a sweetness?
I like.
Yeah.
I think you were correct in honey. It's.
No, I'm not correct. It's whatever you find.
Yeah.
There's no right answers. There's no wrong answers.
Well, hold on. I'll have a little sip first.
Oh, I thought you just did.
Oh, that's sip one. Oh, I like that.
Got a little heat.
Yeah.
to it,
It's a little there's a warm and the sweetness is there. Like is it odd that like there was a very specific period in my life where I drank almost exclusively Scotch. And that more than smells or specific tastes, I'm just thinking about memories.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's a,
So all of these are going to be smelling like divorce. So this podcast tone might change dramatically. I like that taste.
yeah.
I like that. Though
What did you used to drink when you were?
I was a
drinking
Johnny
Scotch?
Walker guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, which one?
I for a while all I could afford was red, and as I used to talk about this.
Then
on
you got super famous.
I used to talk about this on stage. Is that like, for me, red, I had to drink like 4 glasses before.
We talked about this the other day.
Before I could enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because that first glass of red, it feels like you're like licking a belt, and then it gets smoother and smoother.
That sounds enjoyable.
But then finally, you're on your 4th glass, and you're like, "Oh, where's my Scotch?" Like it go, you're just like, I poured it. Oh, where'd it go? Well, I have to pour myself another glass.
All right. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking this one might be? Try it here. Leave some a little, just in case you want to go back.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And like,
right now, I'm gonna put it somewhere in the middle.
okay. So
I'm gonna go.
You're
I'm
gonna go
here. I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
go
go
40.
there.
I'm gonna 40.
All right.
Okay. I like that though. That's a good. Yeah.
All right. Let's go right into the next one then.
All right. I'm gonna just have a quick sip of.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
gonna
Have
cleanse the
quick
palate.
cleanse the palate. That's some things I forget. Sometimes I forget to do that.
While you're pouring?
Yeah.
Can
go
I
ahead.
Can I tell my favorite James Webb story?
That's probably the best time to
Because
tell stories.
It's
when
so
I'm
crazy
pouring.
that you were talking about the portage because
Oh, really?
there was one night that my wife, we were not married at the time, but my wife, she came with me to 3 shows. It was to see me perform at the Portage, which that Portage show, they made us start almost 2 hours late because there was a Doors cover band that was going to play that evening. And I don't know why, but Jordan Holmes showed up and got super drunk. Well, I know why he showed up. He was on the bill. And Jordan was just screaming at this Doors cover band and then removed his shirt and pants. And like could not stop yelling at them. So to where like the person at the theater was like, 1, is your friend okay? 2, he has to fucking stop. And then the middle show of that was I saw Mark Maron at the Athenaeum. And then the 3rd show, I saw Nick Vatterott record his album, to which my wife and I sat next to Mr. James Webb, who, what I loved about that show is the moment I sat down, I got this enormous bear hug, and he could not have been a happier presence throughout the evening. Was just like so excited to be there, and it was. Do you remember this?
I do.
You could not have been happier to could not have been happier to see me, which was very polite,
Hey, man.
which is always nice. But like your the energy you brought to that show. My wife mentioned it on the drive home, just like how nice it was, how nice it was being next to someone who loved comedy so much, and that was such a wonderful feeling. So,
Thanks,
and I
buddy.
absolutely agree. I absolutely agreed with that. So that's my James Webb's and my Portage.
Enough about James Webb.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Who cares about that guy?
Number 2.
All right. Thank you.
Less honey.
Less honey.
Yeah. I kind of like smell the barrel almost.
You smell the barrel?
in that like.
Maybe that's what you want, right?
There's a layer
They
of
want
oak
you.
to that.
They want you to know that it was in a barrel.
Yeah.
They put all that work into putting it in a barrel.
They should
Why
just-
would you put it in a barrel if you didn't want it to smell like a
They
barrel?
should just write it on the barrel. It was in a fucking barrel. Just write that on the
They
bottle.
should just sell the barrel.
No, man. Okay, here we go. We're gonna have a little.
Are we going?
Yeah,
I thought I was running the show.
Cheers.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I can do 5 minutes off the cuff. Talk about zucchini.
Zucchini.
Oh, that's smoother.
Yeah.
That's
Not as much heat.
No, it goes down faster.
That shit.
And so I had to watch like. Oh, right now
It's
I'm
a little
getting
more
like
medicinal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am getting like an aftertaste. Medicinal was a really nice word
Yeah.
for it because I'm not sure. Yeah,
It is a classy podcast. I know all the nice words.
What does that mean in terms of alcohol? What does
Medicinal?
mean?
I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I mean, Dr. Pepper can taste medicinal.
It has. I feel like it has a wine taste to it. I like this. Quite a good deal. I'm gonna leave a little in my glass. And I'm gonna
leave
do
a little.
This.
All right, we're going $60 on that
I'm
one.
gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah. In my head, I'm just trying to think like what I would spend on a bottle, which is probably.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, but I mean, what you like is what you like.
Yeah.
So sometimes,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you've been doing comedy for quite a while.
Yeah,
right?
15 years now.
15 years. Have any interesting stories? Right? Maybe. Interesting stories we can talk about.
Are we talking
Anything?
shit, or are we just telling
I
stories?
don't know. What do you think?
Well, look. How about after a couple of we'll talk shit because no, because I write for a blog. I write for a blog called Fancy Boys Club.
Fancy Boys Club.
The most popular articles are the ones where I talk shit about comics and change the names. Those are the ones.
Okay, you can change any of them.
Oh, I don't know. Look.
Have you been changing names this whole time? So everything you said about me was not me.
Yeah,
it was somebody else.
Everything I said you were a nice guy. That was just Dave Sitka. Is who that was. I'm trying to. Okay. Okay.
We'll lead up to the shit.
Yeah.
Talking. Give me something. Give me something else if you don't.
All right. I'll tell you one of my favorite Mike Wiley. Another.
Oh
Mike
yeah.
Wiley.
So wait, is this a Mike Wiley or are you changing the names again?
All right. So there's this guy, Mike Wiley. So you and I recorded our records 2 weeks apart in the same room.
Yes.
And I've said this to people, and if people don't know of you, they should check out your records because they're fucking amazing. And what I love about your records is I think they capture very well what seeing you live is like. It's very much who you are in your performance. You feel that energy, and you feel like your excitement and your silliness. I think they work super well.
Can you be my manager?
What? Yeah, I was never asked to host a Mike Wiley album recording, and I have always taken that slightly personal. But it's all right.
Here's the thing: I don't know.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah.
There was a reason I didn't ask you to host my last one.
But so when
I don't remember what it was.
You don't like me.
No, yeah.
But I remember when I came to your album recording and we were sitting around, and where you tell very short jokes. Why I admire that is because I consider myself I'm more of a monologue. Like I tell very fucking long jokes.
And I admire that because I have a hard time doing that.
And and I think you asked me like, how much time did you do on your album recording? And I said I did like 42, 45. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to do the same. And then I asked you how many jokes you were going to tell, and I believe you said 212. It was a ridiculous.
It was 100 and something.
Oh yeah, 100 something. And you're like, how many jokes did you tell? I'm like 11. I told 11 jokes. That's all the time I had.
Yeah.
Like that's where those stories go. But I love.
I wish I could only tell 11 jokes in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That'd be so easy.
You'd have to talk very slowly.
I leave a lot of room for laughs.
Yeah. No, it is though. Like people want the shit talking, and that's always fun. Like, who was I talking shit about?
I don't know. Who are you talking? You talking shit about somebody recently?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Oh, so I wrote a article about a guy who I wrote an article about a guy who the end of the story was that like this guy asked for. First, like the night of a show, asked me how much I was paying for sets. Then asked
for
to,
sets.
Yeah, then asked to do the show that was happening that night. And I said, like, no, the show is booked.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you think of me as. Like, I don't just show up with a truck to like a Home Depot of comedians. It's like, I got a show, let's go. But then this guy,
that'd be cool.
But I said, like, so come on and do a guest set.
Yeah.
And if it goes well, and he said, I would love to do the guest set. Then he did not show up to the guest set.
Okay.
Then he called my, at the time when I had a home landline, called my home landline.
So this was 1974.
I don't know how he got it. I don't know. It would have been like 2008 or something like that. And like yelled about how much I insulted this comedian. Like and how I was so rude to him and how he couldn't believe I would make him do this.
Oh.
And then people were telling stories about this guy. Fucking all right. So, is we in trouble if I say names?
I would recommend not saying
cool
names.
Then. So this is a guy who one night at Riot Comedy, when you would perform often under a fish.
A fish.
And there was the comedian Sean Flannery was performing, and that fish fell off the wall and it hit him on the head.
Shit.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was just on a podcast with Sean Flannery, and he told this story.
And this comedian came up to him after the show and was like, "Hey, it was real funny when that fish hit you on the head. You should try to incorporate that into your act." As if for some reason Sean could somehow bring the Riot Comedy fish from Chicago Jones with him to every performance he was doing.
I
love that. I love that.
I was doing a show at back in the day at Kitty Moon, which is right across from what's that? Right across from Pressure, basically. And they had these board games there, and they had this old board game from like I don't know, it was like the 70s or something. And I remember it was like really misogynistic in the wording, like something about like I don't know.
So dames and broads.
Well, no,
or
but
something?
it's like now girls can play games just like the boys. And I remember bringing that up on stage with me and doing a bit about it.
Yeah.
And it got a huge laugh.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got off stage, and a comic came up to me after that, and he's like, "Hey, you should do that joke all the time." And I'm just like, no, I don't.
It's
this,
it's that weird balance where people
Yeah.
think one of two things. One is that we create everything on the fly,
Right.
and that is why audiences like to talk because they think they're helping the show to prove. Or two, that we're very strict in like everything we've written down, and nothing is.
Well, but this wasn't an audience member. This was a comic.
Oh well, that's that comic. That's
Right.
Person dummy. Though.
Yeah.
Just a real dumb.
And
dummy.
and I'm like, well, no, this is the bar's board game. I don't. This isn't mine. And he's like, we'll see if they'll sell it to you.
Do you think? I'm trying to think about this because you're a guy who shows up to the city as much as the suburbs.
I live in the city.
Yeah, and I
That's why
started, but you do so
I
many.
wake up there.
You do so many suburban mics. You
Right.
do as many suburban mics as a suburban comic sometimes. Do you think there are more crazy, delusional people in the city or in the suburbs?
It doesn't matter. There's
doesn't?
crazy delusional people
All right.
everywhere. Yeah.
I was
That's my
thinking about like
experience.
Are they doing stand-up comedy?
That's
often-
why they're.
They're crazy and delusional.
Right.
like when I got when I got started, and again this was like 15 years ago. There was like one open mic, and it was at the Roundhouse. It's where we run our show, and there would be people who would only do that mic, and just be like, "How come I don't get booked at Zanies?"
Yeah.
And it's like, well, one, because no one from Zanies comes to this open. And two, you show up once a month to do the same 6 minutes that maybe someone liked once, but never again. Like, so that's always surprised me is like people. There's that delusion of people just like, well, I fucking know I'm funny.
Yeah.
I just have to get on stage and Johnny Hollywood's gonna show up and be like, come on, we'll give you your own Netflix special.
Johnny Hollywood hasn't been around in
I
years.
love Johnny Hollywood.
Yeah, that guy went to the coast.
Right. The East Coast.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah. Weirdly. Yeah. Why is he in Boston now?
Let's keep going here.
Okay, number three.
Number 3.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna have just a little sip of two, just to remember.
Okay.
All right, because I feel like I need a basis. Is it weird that I'm basing price on how much I'm enjoying it?
No, I mean I think that's human nature, right? You
Yeah.
think the best one is the most expensive
Yeah.
one, right?
Though if it tastes good to me, no one else can understand.
All right. So
Oh my gosh.
we're on number 3. Why you want? Oh my gosh.
I'm enjoying Scotch so much.
There you go.
It's like Mad Men, but we're all in T-shirts.
Now, this one's a little darker, I think. It seems like it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not.
Not really.
Maybe this is just like because of the little bit of liquid against.
Almost less of a smell.
Mm-hmm. I think it smells similar to the last one.
I do too.
Ooh. Whoa.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
that's
like wasabi
that's
almost.
a push.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a Scotchman has gotten into my mouth.
Oh, and that lingers in the back of the tongue. It tingles the back of the tongue for a
and
while.
it's like the Scotch wants you to know it is around.
Hmm.
And I don't
Are you not into that one?
feel like
You feel that's a
feel like
doers?
that's the doers.
Okay. I mean, I'm still gonna finish this.
Yeah, I might.
No, don't finish it. I mean, you might want to go back to it.
Yeah, I'm not loving that.
I'm gonna look at my cheat sheet.
All right.
Okay. Ah, yeah. I need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my water? There it is.
I don't know. All right.
All right.
I've taken all the water.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No,
you
I
said you
didn't-
weren't either.
No.
Not all Scotch is good.
but what's-
Even what? Go
What's odd is that I bet if I started with that,
Mhm.
I would have found a way to be like, it's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
But now that I've had other things,
Mhm.
yeah, that doesn't. I would, if given the choice between 1, 2, and 3, 3 is easily my last pick.
Okay.
At this point.
All right, and you put it all the way at the bottom.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Okay, let's go back. Let's get into 4 now.
All right, I like this.
Get into 4.
I like this. I have not
Tell a story.
I have not had a crazy drinking night since I've had a baby,
Uh-huh.
and so this is like the most.
That's
alcohol.
probably good and responsible.
Yeah, that's true. Also, babies can't fucking drink. Well, no, and like
I try getting drunk with my baby all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking, he can't even keep up.
yeah, and like my wife is not a super drinker, and so like because of that, it's very weird just to be around the house by myself, be like, I'm having 4 drinks. That's an odd thing. So to be here is such a joy.
Well, like I was never a big drinker, and like we're starting to work at a liquor store, and now I have like drinks on
and now
shelves.
you just go to meetings every day.
I have drinks on shelves. I have a fridge full of
You
beer.
have a cocaine
It's weird.
problem for
Yeah,
some reason.
I know, right? I buy prostitutes every day. But it's
Giovanni
hey,
Diaz.
it's oh, don't name names.
I'll name him all day, baby. He loves it.
Of course,
Well, he's
he
about
is.
to have a baby.
He's in the Lobo
He
Den.
is.
Yeah.
Mazel
Wait,
tov.
what?
Yeah.
All right, good for him.
Oh,
I guess.
yeah. He's crushing it right now. He bought a house.
I like Giovanni a lot. He's a nice guy.
He's the man, dude.
Yeah.
All
All right, here we go.
knows this. You're already in sipping mode.
I'm not.
You're gonna
I haven't.
miss it. You were about to.
I'm trying to get a smell, and
Yeah,
I haven't.
what do you
I
got?
haven't gotten anything
You
yet.
got nothing on this one?
It's very light. Like
It's very light.
But it's not unnoticeable.
Mhm.
I feel a little
Dainty,
I feel a little
if you will. Should
dainty.
we have our pinkies up?
I
on
feel a
this
little
one?
sweetness. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have my non-drinking
oh,
pinky up. That's
ooh,
how.
shit.
That's how fucking
That's
fancy this is. Yeah,
fancy.
I've got my pinky toes up in my
Yeah,
shoes.
Watch,
yeah.
watch your neighbor's eyes.
Oh, I don't even know what that means, but I like how it
If
sounds.
someo's sitting next to you at the dinner table, you
Uh-huh.
poke their eye out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they don't do that. It's a faux pas, if you will.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, it's like I mean,
Goddamn.
what?
No,
There's reasons for everything.
true. The way your brain works makes me laugh.
Because
so
do
hard.
you know where the whole idea of don't put your elbows on the table came from?
No.
Because so in the old times it would just be like a slab on like a stand or whatever. And if everyone on one side had were
They'd
leaning,
flip the
they'd
slab.
flip the table.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah,
All
that's
right.
where that came from.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
cheers to you,
All
sir.
right. Cheers to facts.
Oh. Oh,
Really?
Now I feel.
I like this one.
I don't dislike it, but that aftertaste hit me in a hurry.
Well, yeah, because it's like nothing at the beginning. It's like
Yeah.
and then it wraps up.
This is a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the smell, then all of a sudden it fucking shows
Yeah.
up going down the gullet.
Yeah, I'm digging this one. Okay.
Gonna do a little motion of the ocean.
All right.
All right.
I think I like this one better than you.
All right.
I like it's not like this isn't an up and down. This is a steady like just a climb.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm
See,
getting.
and I disagree with that.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Now I feel like I'm like, what am I missing?
We're all getting something different. What are you doing over there, James? Am I? Oh, okay.
I like this. I like. Yeah, but that after like again, it was one of those things. It was like the fucking beer.
Well,
like,
it sticks with you.
I know
you
it's Scotch.
It's nice.
I know what it's.
Yeah.
I know like a little bit of what there's gonna be in it, but
Uh-huh.
that curveball, like when it dropped, like it came at me.
Mm-hmm. Save some.
I'm liking this more and more. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you'll come back to
Yeah,
it.
but I'm all right. I feel good with that.
Okay. All right.
Pardon me for that. I'm a gassy man.
So you, as a comedian, you've produced more shows than a lot of comics.
Marty DeRosa used to call it the Drufke belt
Mm-hmm.
because look, I live so far away from Chicago.
Speaking of licking a belt,
I've always lived in either Aurora or in Huntley. I'm always like 40 miles, 50 miles away from. So to me, a good thing to do was to start shows to bring comedians in.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started producing shows, I was not good at it.
okay. Well, nobody's good right off the bat.
Yeah, but
even if you're a solid comic who's been doing it years, You'll still,
Oh,
as a
and-
producer, you won't.
Well, and it's not just that, but like, so you can first be not good as a producer. Then you can be good as a producer, but not have the right room.
Right.
Then you can be good as a producer and have the right room, and still something goes wrong. So, there was, all right, worst show I've ever produced. We did 2 shows there.
Okay.
First show went terribly.
You could, what was the show?
Oh,
You can name
it
that
was,
name probably, right?
It was a karaoke bar.
Okay.
I did not. Here's the thing. So like I had at that point I had 2 rooms running, and both were doing okay. I think each of those lasted like 9 months, a year, close to that level. And then the third place contacted me and said like, "Hey, love to do a show there. We want to start a show next week. We will give you," and then offered a dollar amount that was more money than anyone has offered me. And I was just like, "Yeah, I'll book this show." And I booked the show, venue unseen, which was a mistake. At the point, I was booking shows with Louis Rhine,
Right.
good friend of mine who no longer does comedy. And we show up to this place. It is a karaoke bar. There are 6 people in the there are 6 people that are only there for karaoke. They do not want to do comedy. Like they do not want to see comedy. They whatever. They all leave. We do the show for the 3 people a comic brings. It is terrible. So then I'm like, all right, well, we come back next week. And the money they're giving me is allowing me to book nicer comics. So we're going to do the week 2. And no one shows up. And I say, look, you got to give me the money. I got to pay these comics. We agreed to this. I've promoted as best I can. I gave you the promotional material. It's nowhere. And the guy's like, look, I'm going to pay these comics, but you're going to do a show. So I'm like, for who? For no one? And he's like, hold on. And he makes 3 phone calls, and he's like, you'll start in 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, 2 people show up. And I'll always remember this. We're doing the show, and Lewis is up. And at some point, he's just doing his act, and the 2 of us have to fill. The guy's like, you got to fill 90 minutes. So we're like, all right, well, we'll each do 45 or whatever. Lewis is in the middle of just every joke he's ever known. And at some point, one of the 2 people in the audience is like, do more racist jokes. Holy fuck. And Lewis says, I don't have any. And the guy responds, yeah, you do. And so we were just like, and then they still wanted us back. We were like, okay, hey, look, so we tried, and it's okay. We're sorry we took so much of your money. And the guy's like, well, we'll see you next week. And we're like, no, this is done. We tried this, and and I remember even talking to Lewis being like, maybe we try again? Just take the money. And Lewis has said, if you do the show again, you're doing it without me. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to do that. So then we'll just, we'll go back to do whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I love providing rooms in different environments for Chicago comedians to come out and do. Some people like you, Marty, Mike Sheehan, Drew Michael was a guy who I always had out all the time. Jeff Hansen, Karen Esposito always came out all the time. They could exceed in those rooms. What always stunned me was the people who came out, traveled not that far away, and was either super condescending to the audience, was like, I live where the big buildings are, and not expect the audience to be like, well, go fuck yourself. We moved away for a reason. There's a reason why
attitude.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're not in Chicago. It's called a yard. We love it. You're never invited to one. Or people who were like, I don't get why my jokes about the red line aren't working. And it's like, yeah, because it's one train line 40 miles away from where these people live. How do you not understand that? So I've probably run, in 10 years, I probably ran 35 shows. So
35 shows.
My success rate was not great. But we ran Kryptonite Bar in Rockford for 2 years. And then we've been at the Roundhouse for 6 years, and now that's the only place. I just turn down offers.
Yeah.
People still want me to run shows, and I just say no because I can't. I don't have the time. I'm working too hard to make the show,
right.
to make our show great, and I don't want to ruin that by then also being like, God, maybe this coffee bar in Naperville.
Well, and it's so hard to produce a successful show.
Yeah.
It's catching lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, and booking is easy because there are so many amazing comedians in Chicago. So booking is not the problem. But what happens is that so many places want to be like, oh, we should do a comedy show.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, okay, well, look, this is the amount of money I'm going to need. And they'll be like, okay, well, we need someone that's like going to bring people out. And I'm like, okay, well, then we need to raise that price to like $2,000 because that's not what you're offering.
Right.
I'm like, for $200, I can give you a very good comedy show. But no one will know who's on the bill. People just going to have to trust the venue and say, like, okay, well, they don't do bad
and
things.
if the venue doesn't want to do any work, that's when you know it's like, all right, well, this ain't going to work.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to learn that. Because sometimes as like a new producer, you're like, oh, okay, we'll try to like, you know, I'll try.
I've had venues.
I'm so excited to have a show.
I've had venues where I've shown up to be like, here are the posters to hang up. And we're told,
then
like,
it-
no thanks.
Right.
Cool. Well, then I can't wait for this.
I guess I'll pass them
fails.
out onto
Yeah.
the street.
I remember when I was running that show in Rockford, and look, God bless us. They always paid and they worked hard, and we tried to do it for. But one night I was like, you know what? I'm going to help out, and I'm going to come and I'm going to walk the streets of downtown Rockford, and pass out flyers. And I parked where there was one theater that had been abandoned. And I was like, I'm just going to start walking. And I walked for 3 miles till I got to another abandoned theater. And it maybe passed out 4 flyers.
That's what my parents told me. You can play outside, but only from abandoned theater to abandoned theater.
That's how artists grow up. It's like it felt like Gotham City, where it's just like nothing good is happening here, and you are going to die if you go into one of these theaters.
All right. Well, something good is going to happen here. We're going to try this last Scotch here.
I'm so curious because the only spot
The
left
only
is
one
the
left,
best spot. So will it take that, or will I be doing a dramatic shift?
So
of
this has to
things?
be the best one
All right.
in your mind.
I love it.
Say something.
Okay. Well, you've been seeing the
have I been
cheat
seeing?
sheet, so you know.
I wrote the cheat sheet.
Yeah, you know what I've chosen. James, do you feel
I only glanced at it
Do
once.
you agree with the ways I've been putting glasses out?
Let me look at them on the cameras here.
He's been putting them on the cards. That's the correct way.
I feel like that's right.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a Scotchman,
All right.
but if I were, I'd agree.
There was
with
that
you.
point where everyone watched Mad Men and were like, "We are now into Scotch."
I never watched Mad Men.
Oh, you
I
missed
watched
out.
the first 2 episodes about any of these characters,
Yeah.
and I'm like, eh.
It is a lot of unlikable people doing unlikable
Yeah.
things. And so if you don't like that, I super understand.
I don't.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
I'm
Cheers,
not getting
dumbass.
I'm not getting much of that. You're already sipping.
Oh, I like that quite a good deal.
Yeah, it's good.
That's pleasant.
Yeah, that's not bad. It doesn't build like.
It doesn't, unlike that last Scotch. So what was that 4?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like. It's still that aftertaste comes in, but it's not as.
It's not as powerful.
aggressive.
It's not as aggressive. Yeah.
It's like it's just taking its time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna need to. Well, hold on. I feel like I need to cleanse palate. And,
Yeah, cleanse palate. All right.
All right.
Now you're shifting stuff around.
There we go. No, I feel like you wouldn't set this number.
No, what? No, you don't. You don't.
Now
know
there's
what I
part
do.
of me that's wondering. Like, yeah.
Don't wonder that.
But it's
way.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How I've set
No,
things up.
You've set things up 3, 4, 5, 1, 2.
Oh, okay, true.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on.
Don't go by that. Okay.
I'm going.
You're going that way.
Hold on, just for 1 second. I like that taste. That I could barely finish. The 3.
The 3 is the worst.
There's a reason why 3. There's so much left in 3.
Okay.
And it's. But now I feel like okay, I'm good there.
You're good there.
I'm
This is
super
where we
good.
got. We
I'm
got.
super good
You
there.
have 3, 5, 4, 1, 2.
I'm super good.
Okay.
there.
See, are you ready for this?
I am. Oh my
Are
goodness.
you ready to hear this?
I feel yes. Is it weird that I'll feel like I'm dumb if I fuck this up? Like,
I don't know. Is it?
okay, I don't know. Possibly.
All right. So 3, you said was the $20
$20
Dewar's
Yes.
white label. All
It
right?
costs $400.
So.
All right.
So 3
Yes.
was the Glenmorangie, the Quinta Ruban,
Oh my goodness.
14-year.
The $60.
This $60 one.
Oh, man.
So that's
I
what
would
you
not
got.
pay $60 for
Yeah.
that.
So that was incorrect.
All right.
There. Okay. So, you're number 5.
Honestly, I would not pay $20 for a full bottle of that.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to.
All right. I know.
Yeah, it's free
That's
market.
That's why I'm here.
All right. So number 5, you said was the Glenmorangie original.
Yes.
At $40.
Yes, agreed.
All right.
Yes.
So did you say that because it wasn't something you were into?
Yeah, I wasn't. I also felt like of the Glenmorangies, it had the well, and again, that's when I assumed 3 was the Doers, which it was not. It had the kind of least flavor throughout the experience.
It had the least flavor?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, number 5 was the Glenmorangie La Santa, 12-year in a sherry cask.
Damn it!
So, yeah. So
right.
we're talking about $50 there.
All right.
Close.
Off 10. All right.
Well, you were only one over.
Okay.
Right?
I'm okay with that.
So far you're 0 for 2.
All right.
All right. Third one you said number 4.
Number 4.
Was
Which we know it can't
which
be.
we know it can't be.
Yes.
So that one.
So I'm definitely 0 for 3.
So that one was the Glenmorangie, the fancy one, which is French and the Sauternes cask finish.
All right.
All right. So now we got the
hold
last
on. You've
2.
got 2 where that should be.
I
now.
do. Yeah, that goes there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was that one. So you have the last 2 are the 2 cheapest, which you thought were the most expensive.
Yes.
So
Are
you ready?
I've completely eaten shit on this stuff.
We don't know.
I'm 0 for 5.
So let's go all the way to the most expensive. We'll skip over that one because we'll figure it out. What did you think the most expensive one was?
The 2.
Was the 2?
That's the Doers. Isn't
Matt Drufke, you're a doers man. Hey, you know what? That's nice. That means
fucking down the hatch.
right. That means you
like what you like,
you
baby.
like what you like, and you don't have to spend much money.
Good. My
That's
wife will be
great.
happy to know that.
Hey,
She'll be happy
We're
to know
adding
that
more,
I'm
baby.
is that a new one?
Yeah, it's a
I'm
new one.
nice.
Nice.
drunk.
We should have had that one.
I got
All
you.
right. How you feeling there, Matt?
I feel good.
Are you ready for some stories now?
Yeah.
There's
I
a couple I
am.
want you to tell.
I am, and that's worrisome.
So, there was one you used to tell about.
Oh, no.
You did a show with a comic, and the show got canceled, and he still wanted to get paid.
Oh my god!
Tell
Okay.
us that
So
story.
there are so many elements of the story. I'm just gonna give this guy a fake name off the bat.
Well, yeah, duh.
I'm gonna call this guy Carl.
Okay.
Carl, and by the way, the postscript of Carl. Every comedian will know this story, so they're all gonna know who he is because this is one of the most upsetting things. So, I had just begun dating my wife Erin, my second wife. Well, gotta fucking stop that. And she wanted to start coming to shows. That I did. So we were doing the show. It was a little bit away, and I'm doing the middle spot. I'm doing 25. Carl is closing it out. He's doing a half hour. And as I'm driving there, I'm saying, look, you just have to know, this guy is not good. He is real bad. Everyone doesn't like him, and I'm so sorry you're going to have to see this guy. And not only see him do the most time. Like, this guy has a reputation, which is like he works everywhere once.
Yes.
Where it's like a club screws up enough to be like, well, I'll give this guy a chance, and then he shows up and like, not. And it got to the point where I'm trying to prepare her, and I think I'm doing the noble thing. And this guy says, and finally my wife is like, stop. You're just being mean. Why would you keep insulting this guy? I'm sure he's fine. He's a comedian that gets booked. Are you upset he's doing more time than you? I bet you're a little jealous. I bet you're a little jealous. And I'm like, fucking, okay, fine. So we show up in this room where we had been told like every show had been selling out and been doing great and left and right and this and that. There's no one there.
Yeah, you
there's
should have
no
been
one
there
there
last week.
to do the show. The bar, like there's a bar and there's a separate room. Bar has people in it. Separate room, fucking no one. Comedy room has no people in it. And so, look, we've all done those shows. We've all done a show where, like, you show up and no one's there, and you're just like, well, we fucking tried. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
And so I am, like, getting ready to leave, and this guy, Carl, comes up to me, and he's like, we can't leave. I haven't gotten paid. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't care. Whatever your thought about this is that's fine. I'm going to take my girlfriend out to dinner. We're going to do whatever. And he's like, here's what's going to happen. we're gonna call the cops. Are you with me? And I'm like, one, I don't think you know what the cops do. Like the police do not. Look, I'm a defund the police guy as much as the next guy, but I know that like even in my perfect world of what the police do, it's not showing up to a comedy show that hasn't gone on and been like, everyone still gets paid, right? Like that's how this fucking works. And so I say like, look, man, I'm not gonna. I almost said his name. Look, I'm not gonna do that. I'm so close. I'm so close. I feel like I'm not gonna do that. That's real dumb. And he's like, no, that's just what we tell him we're gonna do. And I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. But finally, I think like 6 people showed up, and this producer decided like, look, I'm just going to pay people out of my own pocket. Had I known that at the time, I would not have accepted the money, because that's just like, I don't know. That's like, it was not super far for me to drive. And so like, I would have been happy just like eating the loss and just doing a show for 5 people. But this guy goes up and, you know, I do my time. It goes as well as it can. If you were to believe Erin, my wife, she would say that I killed that night. But like, it's 4 people. You can't kill in front of. At most,
if you're to believe my wife, I should be one of the top 30 comics.
Oh my god, that's one of the best stories ever. I will end with that. At most, you're not killing. You're just like making 4 people feel okay they came to a comedy show. And this guy goes up and just bombs and eats shit and everything, and it's terrible. And the postscript of this story, and so this is where it's going to give things away to everyone. A good friend of ours into Chicago comedy, the brilliant comedian Dan Ronan, passed away a few years ago, and we're all at the wake, and this comedian just fucking pulls a hat trick as he does 3 things. He and I should say
I'm laughing because I know this story.
I should say that like no, you just fucking so like the receiving line to like pay your respects to the family and then see the body and say a prayer is going like around the block twice, and we're all just like, we're holding each other up. Like, it's such a sad moment. We love this guy so much. Honestly, when my new son was born, my first name for him would have been Daniel, to pay respect to this guy, and that changed. This comedian shows up. Let's just nail him 1, 2, 3. 1, he asks to cut in line so he can do an open mic later that evening. 2, there are people there who produce a show, and he gets their name wrong and asks why he has never been booked to do that show. And then 3, as he approaches the grieving parents, who are just weeping and are the sweetest people, and I have the good pleasure of knowing them and still knowing them, while everyone is like giving a hug or telling a story or whatever, he just leans in for a fist bump.
God.
Yeah, that's
Oh my.
and so so like everyone is mortified, and this guy, as far as I'm aware, still doing shows. Yeah. So good for him.
I have one question though.
Yes.
Did he get the fist bump?
No, he did not get the fist bump. He did not get the fist bump, and that is the most I can do. Yeah, that's the story you're looking for. Yeah. There's just the level of delusion that has come in comedy. Do you get people like, because now that you're booking this show, and I know you ran a show with Jordan for a while, like, did people ever say, the one thing I got a lot is I would say like, hey, just send a clip, and people are like, I don't send a clip. That's how people steal jokes. Have you ever seen that before?
I've heard that once or twice, but it's like, if you're afraid of people stealing your jokes,
then write better jokes.
Well, no, don't do comedy. Fucking do your jokes in your basement and never leave.
Yeah, create a wonderful series of TikToks that I'm sure will go very well.
People will steal your jokes. Write it in a notebook, and then people will find it after you die.
Here we go. We'll tell a. It's a weirdly happier story, though not for the person that's involved.
Well, this will be the last story. Then we got to end it.
Okay, so the first show I ever ran, back when I was booking on MySpace, to let you know how long.
That's the first time you booked me on MySpace.
Yeah. Never regretted it. And now we run a show together. There was a gentleman who wrote to me and said, "Hey, I used to do comedy in college all the time, and I like went up whenever I could, and I tried to do it in the college town, but I'm like back home, and I'd really love to go up. It would mean a whole lot to me. Do you think I can go up and do your show? And I said, hey, come out and just do like 5 minutes, and it'll be great. So I booked this guy sight unseen. But you know, like my standards were a lot lower at that time. I was just like, fuck it, whatever. So this guy shows up, and this room, it was the Clearwater Theater, which you remember.
I remember.
We're like, it's an old-fashioned theater where like you're in the wings before you go up. So I'm getting ready to go up. I'm getting ready for the god mic to call my name. And this comedian who is supposed to go first puts his hand on my shoulder and says, I have to confess something right now, and I'm so sorry. I have never done comedy before. But I thought that if I told you that, you would never put me up. And oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're accurate.
If you don't want to put me up, I would understand. And what I realize now is that
I'd be like, you're closing now.
what I realize now is that guy was looking for a way out, but I didn't see it at the time because I was too busy focusing on the jokes I was going to tell. And I just said, man, I appreciate your courage. And I walk on the stage to start the show. So I do my time up front, and I bring this guy up. And so this room, from the front of the stage, from the stage to the door, is like a, I don't know, 70, 80-foot hallway. Like, it was a very big room. You would admit that.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no way anyone should have been letting me run that room at that time. But so I introduced the guy, and I'm in the back, and I remember I'm in the back with the Putterboss sisters and Mike Sheehan, and maybe
a lot of Mike Sheehan on this episode.
I don't know that you were on the show, but I feel like you were. And we were just like, well, we'll see how this guy does. And this guy, it's not going well. He's supposed to do 5 minutes, and he bails after 75 seconds. And I now have to sprint the 70 feet to the side to get to and so like
it was a solid 75 seconds.
So we're trying to like bring things up, and the music is playing, and I'm trying to like figure out what to like. So I finally like tell a couple jokes and reset the room and what to do. And in the time I am trying to get the audience like back on board to what the show is, this comedian runs in the back, throws up in the men's room, and then leaves. And I never see him again.
His name was Eminem.
And I even sent the guy a message. Like, I just said, like, hey, look, far of all the worst things I've ever seen in comedy, that doesn't crack the top 10. I respect the fact you want to try, and if you ever want to go hit up an open mic, like, I'd happily drive. Like, we'd figure it out. And I'd love to talk to you. Just let me know that, like, you're doing all right. But I never heard back from the guy again. So, and I think about that guy, I don't know, like, much like the guy who I think about when I'm always going to attack a heckler. I think about that guy, like, once a week. And I'm just like, man, I hope he's doing okay. Like, if that was enough to get it out of his system, then I'm glad he had that opportunity. But, like, if there was something in him that still wants to go up, I hope that he moved somewhere and is still trying to, like, go up and get on stage and things like that.
You're such a nice guy.
I don't know. It's just like, you know, because I would hope that people were so nice to me when I got started. Like you and Marty and James Fritz and Prescott, like all these people were so nice to me. And that I feel like if I, like, I'd be such an asshole if I didn't pay it forward to other people, like to new comics who come on the scene, like TJ Remick or Emily Schaefer or even like Dave. Like, if I didn't allow people to have the opportunities that like so many wonderful people showed me, I'd be a real piece of shit. Like, and I would not be happy having comedy that way. My wife and I had a conversation once where I told her in comedy, I don't want to sit at the cool kids table anymore. I just want to build a better cafeteria. And she's like, that doesn't make sense at all. She's like, that is a weird analogy that has
I think that's a great line.
Yeah.
I think that should be on your tombstone.
And I truly feel that way. Like, but I truly believe that, and I truly feel that way. And I'm legitimately very lucky that I get to be part of that with you. And KB and KB Marion and Dave, like, I feel very lucky that I am where I am in comedy right now, and that I'm able to come here and feel a little silly on Scotch and come home and sleep on my couch later before my baby wakes me up and do all the wonderful things. So thank you, friend. As
Matt Drufke, the nicest guy, the nicest comic in the city.
For every person who's like, I'm not in this to make friends. I am in this to make friends. Like, I don't have a lot of friends. If you are watching this on YouTube, would you be my friend, please? I need more friends.
Send him an email.
Oh my gosh, I will pen pal the fuck out of you.
Matt Drufke, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you for doing the show. You have a good time?
And a great time. Promote.
Yeah, anything you'd like to plug, go ahead. Do it now.
I write for Fancy Boys Club, fancyboysclub.com. You can see real silly things that Brandon Andreessen or Jack Baker or myself write. I recently wrote a thing about what the best non-Ocean's 11 movie was from each of the actors in Ocean's 11. I had a lot of fun doing that. You can also find me on all the social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and yes, James, I am on TikTok.
Fuck yeah, baby, let's go.
Solely because of you. Solely because of
That's the only reason I
It's
am.
working.
and that's all at I Hate Matt Drufke, Drufke. You can. I'm sure that there will be a link or something. But thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. Thank you guys.
You're on a show now, though, right?
Oh boy! I run a show with many wonderful people called Still Not Friday. It is every Thursday at Two Brothers Roundhouse. It's an 8:00 show. It's free. It features some of the most amazing comedians that we've had the good pleasure to know. And the fact is, like, we give. In so many comedy shows, you get to a point where, like, a comedy show is like 5 comedians doing 6 minutes and maybe one doing 12, and we feature 3 comedians doing 20 minutes, which I think, like, lets you see what this person is about and who they are and what they're doing. And I think that's so important. Again, like...
It's also great for the comics.
I know, it provides opportunity to do 20 minutes.
Build a better cafeteria.
Yeah.
Don't build a cool kids table.
Hell yeah.
Though, granted, in this cafeteria, we are at the cool kids table.
I don't know, we're the fancy boys.
Oh, yeah. we do everything we can. So that's every Thursday at 8 at Two Brothers Roundhouse in Aurora, and it is always free.
James, what do you got?
Stand up is on hiatus for a little bit. Actually, we're taking a little break.
That's not so bad.
You
We'll
boys
come
tired?
back with both barrels loaded.
Actually, we're taking a break because we're moving venues.
Awesome.
And you could probably guess where it's going to end up. So, Stand Up will be back in January of next year at a place that will be announced soon. Follow Zany's Chicago. Follow Zany's Rosemont. Follow those Instagram accounts right now and those TikTok accounts right now. Everybody do it. Listening to this, we're about to launch a really cool thing on there.
Zany's rules.
Zany's
is
is
absolutely amazing.
It's the most historic comedy club in Chicago in a 1,000-mile radius, I would say. And Zany's is about to do some very, very cool things with social media and their YouTube presence. So please follow at Zany Chicago and at Zany's Rosemont to see some really cool shit.
Can I say what's super awesome about Zany's is that that used to be a club where it's like, hey, we're going to bring in these like cool comedians from all over the nation.
Yeah.
Still doing that, but also giving recognition to some of the fucking amazing comedians that are in Chicago. Great. People who you can sometimes see for free at Still Not Friday every Thursday at Two Brothers Roundhouse.
Canceled. And I am Mike Wiley. Hey. I am at Wyke Miley on most social media. This is Plastered Cast. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Hey, you can watch us on YouTube.
That's how I
that's how you should do it, because we got visual aids and stuff. So yeah, like, subscribe, get us to 1,000 subs, some scratch.
That'd be nice.
And Still Not Friday. Matt said it all. And we do one more thing here. James, what do we got?
We do. Well, we have a big old cup of fun right here.
Oh, is it a cup of fun? Is it a King's Cup of fun?
It's a King's Cup.
Love it.
This is everything we were drinking.
This is everything we were doing. It's all Scotch, so it can't be too bad.
It's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, probably. Right?
I have been, when you said this, I was kind of fearing this moment, but I'm gonna get ready. Here we go.
This is gonna be the easiest one.
I'm a game day player, so come on. I'm not fucking around with this.
This one, and what was the mead?
The mead was good, and there was another one that was good. I don't remember which. I think it was
Wine was
the
good.
The vermouth was good.
And dude.
Yeah.
I will say as a toast that I adore you both so much as someone trying to build the scene, trying to build a cafeteria, and someone who's been part of the scene for so long, who I look up to and adore and admire. I love you.
I'm still sitting alone in the cafeteria.
I love you. I love you both so much, and it's been such an honor just to fucking hang out here, even if I wasn't wearing the headphones.
You too, buddy.
Cheers to both of you guys.
Cheers.
Smells like Scotch. Well, you didn't have to do all that.
Oh, I didn't. I thought this was a chugging thing.
No, this is a tasting thing to see if it's good.
It's
and
not.
I think
I drank the whole thing. It's great.
No, taste that. Just get a sip.
I tasted that.
No, but you did it like a shot. Don't do it. Drink it like a drink. Yeah?
Yeah.
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 It's very good.
That's good
Very
and that's
good.
smooth.
That's very good.
So get yourself a Glenmorangie kit.
yeah, man.
Add some doers, and you got something nice.
Some beer
This is the Plastered Cast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Cheers.
Plastered cast is coming.